Broncos move to 6-5. Browns fall to 7-4. Kind of an ugly game here, both ways. Defensive battle early on, and Broncos pulled away. Still looking good, man. The Broncos 6-5 now.
Yeah. And so you mentioned before, one of the funniest things that could happen is, Dallas playing Atlanta in the playoffs and stomping them because Dallas beats not great teams and yada, yada. Now, I think the single funniest thing that can happen in terms of playoff scenarios is Denver making the playoffs after giving up 70 points earlier in the season, replaying Miami in the playoffs, and then with their newfound defensive prowess, just shutting them down completely and winning.
Okay. Like, just don't give up any points, and they averaged 35. They gave up against Miami.
Just like yeah, right, shutting them out.
1-1.
And then going, averaging a 35-point loss.
That'd be good.
That would be spectacular, I think. And honestly, they're playing that way right now. Like, Denver has a shot at the postseason. We mentioned earlier as well, at the exact same time as Philadelphia appears to be getting unstoppable at the push play, everybody else is just botching 3rd and 4th and short. The Browns botched one of these 4th and inches plays. For some reason, Harrison Bryant was under center, fumbles the snap.
Yeah.
It's like, why? I don't understand why this is so hard for everybody else. I understand maybe why you're not executing the push play as well as Philadelphia, but why are you just failing at routine, normal sneaks? Why are we even putting other players under center?
That one scares me. Like, the Chiefs do that a lot, and overall it's
they do it because Mahomes got hurt one time.
Yeah. So a couple things in this game. First off, Russ, once again, has another one of the Russ plays, Adam Troutman touchdown, which I thought they were going to overturn. His knee was like barely in.
Well, they had to review it to get it to
not overturn, but I didn't think they were going to let it stand as a touchdown. But he was barely in before he slid out of bounds. I mean, the touchdowns that Russell Wilson has thrown over the last 2 to 3 weeks that are just inches away from being out of bounds. Cortland Sutton on Monday Night Football, this one to Troutman. I mean, just kind of old school Russell Wilson. So that helped seal the deal for Denver. We have Baron Browning with a roughing the passer call on DTR that knocked him out of the game.
What did you think of that call?
I thought it was a bad call.
Yeah.
Because he just hit him hard. That is the issue that I have is sometimes you just hit a guy so hard that they have to call it.
No, well,
they feel like they have to call it. They're inclined to call it. I thought it was just a good, clean hit. I hate that DTR got hurt.
Yeah.
At the same time, the quarterback. So here we go. The comment that Tom Brady made that kind of went viral about it's bad football right now.
Yeah.
He's not saying this as like curmudgeony old guy who's been out of the league, 100 days and is like, oh man, back in my day things were better. He said this when he was still playing.
He did.
And what Brady was trying to say is, because the rules have changed, people are playing the game differently. And I'll give you 3 examples, right, that I think he's saying, right? It's throwing guys into coverage to get popped. It's the late slide, right? I hate that us as a society have been trained that when a quarterback slides, if there's any kind of contact by the defender, the poor guy is running as fast as he can, needs to tackle the quarterback, slides last second. You try to avoid him, and it's like, that's a penalty. You hit his knee, touched his shoulder, who slid, it's a penalty. Like, we've been trained to think that. And then the third one is the quarterback, who the league is making all of these changes to protect. And the quarterback's just like, I'm just going to run around. Do whatever I want. I'm just going to run around. Who cares? Yeah, here we go. And they get hit late because it's their own fault, because they extended a play for, 12 seconds. That was DTR on this play, or quarterbacks on several plays. It's like you're using the rules to your advantage, inducing this late hit. And if you induce it late enough, you're going to get a penalty. You also might get hurt. But, those are the 3 things. So it's like it's just bad football is what Brady was trying to say. And I think this is an example of one of those where Baron Browning just has a very good hit that happened to hurt the quarterback, and he gets a penalty because of it.
Yeah. I do think it was like people always make that point with any hit that like, he just hit him too hard. This was one where I think it's genuinely the correct description. Like, he just hit DTR hard enough that it didn't even look that bad. They just decided that it was that bad, that it was an egregious. He went slightly high, and because he hit him so hard, there was probably some incidental helmet-to-helmet contact, but this is a different world from the Kareem Jackson hits that have happened all the way through the season. I don't think it should have been a penalty at all, but it knocked DTR from the game, who had been playing pretty well. PJ comes in, doesn't play well, and that was pretty much all she wrote from a Cleveland Browns point of view.
Yeah, and that's a good summation. We can wrap it up there. I mean, like
a couple other things.
Yeah, not wrap it up, but like we have to talk about Myles Garrett's injury and whatever else you got here.
Yeah, Garrett hurts his shoulder. According to him, he heard a pop in his shoulder, so that may well be his Defensive Player of the Year candidacy up in smoke, which would be really unfortunate because he was playing insanely well this year.
Yeah, that seems not good.
That Cortland Sutton drops a touchdown in the back of the end zone. Actually, ironically, got both feet down perfectly, and it just went right through his hands. Like maybe ball could have been 6 inches lower, and he wouldn't have had to stretch that, but it hit him in the hands. And I was actually surprised, given A, Cortland Sutton, and B, tacky gloves, that it actually made it through his hands. Like it hit him fairly solidly in the hands and somehow went straight through them. Usually the tack on modern gloves just doesn't allow that to happen. So that was pretty shocking. The Browns ran a play fake, like a play-action play, out of a legitimate wing T formation, which was one of the best plays I saw this week.
I appreciate the fact that they have, with DTR as a late-round rookie, that they are trying to get creative. I mean, they had, their touchdown came on a 4th and 1. DTR, that
was the play. They ran. Yeah. That formation was a legitimate wing T. Like you hear that all the time of teams that are like run heavy or run options, whatever. It's like they're just running the old wing T, and they're not. Right. The wing T is like a specific They ran the wing T
legit
formation, and then play action touchdown to Harrison Bryant again. I think.
Yes, I love the creativity. You have to do that. I think you have to do that when you have, quarterback issues. DTR a little sporadic accuracy-wise. Some of his good throws didn't get caught, but, up and down game for the rookie before getting injured. And then, as you mentioned, P.J. Walker, 2 turnover-worthy plays and 17 dropbacks. Not great. We'll keep an eye on Garrett. The Broncos, Samaje Perine ran really well for the Broncos.
P.J. Long had a great game as well.
He's flying around making plays.
For Kareem Jackson.
There you go. Yeah, they played fine without Kareem Jackson and with him too, but we'll keep an eye on Garrett and what this injury looks like. Playoff picture for both teams. The Cleveland Browns currently tied with the Steelers at 7-4. Steelers would be the 5 seed, Browns the 6. Broncos the 9 seed, tied at 6-5 with the Colts and the Texans, but third in the tiebreaker as of right now. They're also all ahead of the 6-6 Buffalo Bills. Would be the 10 seed, and it would not be in the playoffs in the AFC right now.
Nick Bonito with a huge game. 8 total pressures.
Good job, Nick.